Imagine with me for a moment that you have just landed the job as a trash picker-upper at St Kilda Beach. Incredible job, I know. Amazing. For those of you that don't know, St Kilda Beach is actually one of the most popular beaches in Melbourne. It would have tens of thousands of people visit there across a weekend. And with that amount of traffic, actually has a lot of trash and rubbish that's left behind. And so the local council needs to employ a team of people, a crew of people to come through and do the cleanup. And lucky you have just got the job as one of that crew. Congratulations. So it is a 38-degree day. It has been a stinker and the temperature is not dropping. It is still really hot. Even though the sun's setting, it is really hot. You've got your hat on to make sure that your sun's smart. You've got gloves on. You've got your high-vis jacket so that you're nice and visible and not going to get run over by someone. You've got your stick to pick up the trash so you don't need to bend over too far with your bag. And you're out doing your thing, picking up trash across the beach, making it beautiful for the people coming the next day. You get 1 hour into this and you are done. You didn't realize how hard a work it would be picking up trash on a beach. It is hard work. But you look up ahead and you notice that you're coming up to the pier and there's a little nook there where I reckon, you know what, you think that you might be able to sneak a little power nap for 5 minutes. Because the rest of your team's a bit of a way away, your supervisor's away, and you take advantage of the opportunity and you sneak around the corner and you tuck yourself in, close your eyes, and you're beginning to actually drift off into that sweet spot of power nap when all of a sudden this bright light appears. And it's that sort of bright light that you can see even though your eyes are closed. You just know that there's a bright light and you think, oh no, I'm busted. My supervisor has caught me having a nap on the job. I'm done. I'm fired. It's all over. I've lost this great job. But as you sort of are about to open your eyes, you hear a voice, and it's actually not the voice of your supervisor. It's a voice. You don't know that voice, and it's saying something weird. You open your eyes and you see that your crew and your workmates are actually sort of cowering down with fear on their faces, not really sure what's going on. And you now hear the voice that it's talking about this baby king that you need to go visit. What is going on? And then the next thing you realize, it's not just this figure that's appeared. It's not just one figure, but there's hundreds of them. And they start singing about God and singing about how incredible and amazing God is. What is going on? What has happened? What are we going to do? You know, this situation I've described to you or tried to put you in the shoes of is really a bit of a modern day take on what the shepherds would have experienced or could have experienced on the night of Jesus' birth. You know, here they are really minding their own business, doing their job, looking after sheep, when all of a sudden they are interrupted by an angel that starts to tell them that baby Jesus has been born and that they need to go visit him. Then the next thing they know, hundreds of angels appear in the sky and start singing glory to God. And what is the reaction of the shepherds? To begin with, fear, as you'd expect in that sort of situation. But they make room for the unexpected. They make room for the unexpected and they go and they visit this baby Jesus, this baby king. They go and visit him, and in doing so, become part of the Christmas story that we retell thousands of years later. They step into God's story and become a part of that story. And the cool thing about this story is it's not just about shepherds, but it's also about you. You and I, we have a place in this story. Before I get to that though, there's two things I want to just quickly have a look at. So first of all, these shepherds, they made room for the unexpected. in the midst of doing what they do, doing their work, looking after sheep, which I'm sure would be an incredibly frustrating job at times. They went and saw this baby Jesus. They followed through and responded to this invitation. And we heard a similar story just earlier about this woman, Sheridan. An incredibly moving story that I'm not sure about you, but the first time I heard that story, I might have shed a sneaky tear. It got to me that this beautiful story of reconciliation, of friendship. And the incredible thing is that Sheridan had a lot of good reasons not to respond to that invitation. The busyness of life at the time, the disappointment that she'd faced, the frustration with friendships, and really, who wants to go to an awkward dinner party with friends that we sort of were connected with but aren't anymore? Like that's not something that you're looking forward to after a hard day. But there was something within Sheridan that caused her to respond. And what did she find as she responded to that invitation, as she made room for that in the midst of that unexpected invitation? It was reconciliation and relationship. Seeing an old friend, Maddie, that she hadn't seen for years. What a beautiful story. Now, some of you are watching right now. You might be watching and you might have been invited to a friend's place to watch this. You might have stumbled across this on Facebook or YouTube and you thought, I'm going to watch this. It'd be nice to sing a couple of carols and to join in with the Christmas cheer, and I want to be a part of that, and this is a good way to do it. Hey, great to have you joining us. We are so glad you're here. But do you know what? That may have been your purpose, but I think God might be up to something a little bit deeper. You see, I'm not saying that there are about to be angels appear in your living room. Although, if that does happen, please post something in the message. Take a photo and post it. I would be so keen to see that photo or to hear that story of angels appearing in your living room. But what I am believing, or what I am expecting God to be doing right now, is actually beginning to stir something in people's hearts and in their minds. That maybe, just maybe, there might be something inside you saying, well, what does it look like for me to be in God's story? What could that mean for me? Is there room for me in that story? Is that an invitation for me to come? Yes. Yes, it is an invitation for you to come. And you may be sitting there watching this saying, but I'm not prepared. That's not what I was here for. I was here to just watch some carols and get some Christmas cheer. That's all that this was about. Hey, the shepherds weren't prepared either when they went to meet Jesus. In fact, this leads me to my second point is that the shepherds, they just came as they were. They went to visit a baby king in their stinky, smelly clothes after a day of manual labor. Think about that. They didn't go home to have a wash and, soap themselves up and clean themselves up and wash their hair and get the hairdo all right, put on the right clothes, and they didn't do any of that. They came as they were. What was important was that they responded and went. And I believe right now that God would say to you, come as you are. Come as you are. Don't leave past hurt. What you may be, you could come up with 100 reasons why now is not a good time. I haven't got this right, or there's this thing here that's not quite right. Come as you are. The invitation is for now. The shepherds didn't go clean themselves up. God's not expecting perfection. He wants you. He wants you in his story. There is a place for you in his story. can you make room in your heart? Can you make room, or is there room in your heart for God to write his story? Is there room in your heart for God to write his story? You know, the shepherds made room in that moment, that unexpected invitation to go meet baby Jesus. There's a similar invitation before you right now. Will you make room in the unexpected? Because God's story is being written and there's space in it for you.
Is there room in your heart? Is there room in your heart?